Hello Thrivers, welcome back. Today I'm talking about brain fog, which is something that if people don't address, they can have a really hard time healing and working through relationships even after they're out of toxic relationships, okay? It's not like physical fog, where if you're in a place or in a room where there's smoke, right? And you can't see, it's irritating your eyes, you can't breathe. The second you leave that room, you're okay, right? There's no fog in the next room. It's not like that with brain fog. You can leave the relationship and still feel the same effects. And that can be really dangerous. And we're going to talk about why that's dangerous. We're going to talk about brain fog, and we're going to talk about what to do about it. So with that in mind, let's get started. So let's first talk about what it feels like to have brain fog. It kind of feels like there's something wrong with your brain. And in a way there is. We're going to get to that. But it feels like the way you used to think, the clarity that you used to have, you don't have that anymore. So some of the ways that it shows up is in your memory. A lot of people prior to abusive relationships, they had really good memories. And suddenly it's like their memory is completely different. And I can completely relate to that. I remember when I was like 20, 21, quite a while ago, I would run into a friend of mine maybe every 3 months or so. And we always had like these brief encounters. Our conversations never ended, right? They were always interrupted. And then we'd see each other again 2 to 3 months later. And I remember him telling me, Michelle, it's crazy. Like, you remember exactly what we ended talking about, and when I see you again, you pick up at that exact same spot as if no time has ever gone by. That's how good my memory was. And yet, ask me what I did 2 days ago, or who I spoke to 2 days ago, or what our conversation was about, and it's not the same. You know, it's a lot better now that I've started my healing journey, but it's still not near the same as what it used to be prior. So when you have brain fog, your memory isn't the same. On top of that, the ability to make decisions diminishes, and you've lost that trust of your inner self. So decision making, it's almost like it comes to a halt. Another way that it shows up is how unclear normal behavior is. Okay, and this is usually the result of years of gaslighting, but I usually see this take place when somebody asks me in my face-to-face coaching. They'll be like, Michelle, is it wrong that I want to say no about that and I want to put down a boundary? Am I a bad person for doing that? Whenever I hear that, whenever I hear a person unable to distinguish what is correct, what is healthy and what is not healthy, it's always something I automatically do is I automatically think, well, this person has been, gaslighted for a very long time. And it just adds to that brain fog, this inability to kind of see things clearly, to evaluate things clearly, and to make sound decisions based on that. So there's a lot of confusion. When you have brain fog, you feel constantly in a state of confusion. And you certainly don't feel like yourself. Okay, those are just a few symptoms. If there are others that you want to add, please make sure you do so in the comment section below. I love to hear all of your guys' comments. So let's talk about why it's dangerous. Okay, I kind of liken brain fog to the water in the pot that the frog's in, and it's being slowly boiled, right, to the point that the frog doesn't notice. And because it doesn't notice what's going on, it stays in the pot and gets cooked to death. Well, brain fog is kind of like that. It confuses you from realizing what's going on, and it keeps you in a situation that is ultimately not cooking you to death, but kind of killing you emotionally and kind of killing your authentic self. A lot of people have likened narcissistic abuse to soul murder, because you're not allowed to be yourself. You're not allowed to have your own thoughts. So brain fog is very much like that water that's just being cooked slowly. Narcissistic abuse, it's confusing you slowly yet consistently enough that you wind up in a situation that by the time you realize it, it's too late. So that's one of the dangers. And the other danger is if you don't work through the brain fog, You can leave the relationship. So let's say, like using that pot as an illustration, you're in the boiling water and you realize it. For some reason, you stumble on information about narcissists and you jump out. So you've removed yourself from the boiling water, but if you don't work through the brain fog, you're going to suffer side effects that are going to cause one of two things to happen. Either you're going to wind up jumping back into the pot of boiling water because the challenges and the misery, the difficulties that you're feeling outside of the relationship in this confused state can confuse you and make you think that it was better before. And so some people jump back into the boiling water because of the challenge of working through this brain fog and other side effects of complex PTSD. So that can happen, or if you don't jump into that pot of boiling water, you simply find another one to jump in if you haven't healed. So we can definitely see the dangers of, not working through brain fog and why we really need to do that.